Stop saying, my friend is very nice. In this English lesson, I will show you how to talk about other people in English and sound more natural and more advanced. And stay with me until the end because I prepared examples, I prepared shadowing, examples of sentences, and the PDF material for download. So stay with me, watch the lesson, and if you want to learn how to go from stuck to speaking in 6 months, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker and talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Yes, and prepare your listening because we're going to listen so that we can practice shadowing. But here we go, speaking practice. Guys, of course you can say, my friend is nice, okay? My best friend is very nice. There's no issue with nice. Native speakers use that word. It is a good one. However, when we tend to pick only this word to have conversations in English, whenever we're talking about something nice, we only use nice, we only use good. That's where the problem is. So the purpose of this lesson is to help you build up your ability to describe people, to talk about other people in a more advanced and natural way. So I will show you some interesting adjectives, nice adjectives. They structure examples of descriptions so that you can get inspired and do the same, okay? And if you watch this lesson until the end, make sure to let me know in the comments. I will give you a key phrase, okay? But only if you stay with me until the end. I will tell you what the phrase is so that I know that you're here participating and watching this lesson until the end. But here we go. Now, guys, I want you to sound more natural, and to do that, I'm going to give you some templates. And what is a template? I will give you ideas of how to organize your sentence. And I will cover 7 different categories of information, as well as give you 3 tips to help you understand how to provide an insightful description, an advanced and natural description of someone, okay? We will also have shadowing. I will give you 3 advanced examples of descriptions. But here we go. The 3 tips I want to share with you before I cover the exercises per se are organizing into different categories. We're going to do this together, okay? If you want to provide a nice description about someone, husband, wife, best friend, colleague, boss, manager, neighbor, you name it, regardless of the person. If you want to describe a person in English, it is important to consider the categories. What information do I want to share when I am describing people? Because sometimes we're very disorganized. We're everywhere. We talk about the country, then we talk about the hair, then we talk about work, and how we met. So it is very disorganized, okay? So it's simple. The first tip I give you is pick 5 to 7 important people in your life and practice organizing the description. And I will show you how to do this here today. Pay attention to the pronouns, he, she, okay? When we're talking about different people, whether we're describing someone who did something at work, the number 1 mistake is to confuse he and she, her and his, because we forget that man, he, his, woman, she, her. Oh, but Priscilla, I know the difference. I believe you. I know you know the difference. But because you don't follow the proper practice, whenever you have to speak, you confuse them. That's what we're going to fix today. This kind of exercise will help you understand here unconsciously how to use he and his, she and her, okay? And lastly, practice by writing and speaking. A key way to help your brain absorb the information, understand how to use advanced vocabulary, advanced structures, is by practicing writing and speaking when doing these descriptions. So here, I'm going to do this orally with you. I already wrote the descriptions that I'm going to use in this lesson, but ideally, you do the same. You write 2-3 descriptions about people around you, your connections, and then immediately after that, practice your English speaking. And when I say speaking, I'm not talking about reading, okay? That is one exercise. That's a different one. That's going to work on pronunciation, intonation. But if I say speaking, I literally mean close your notes, put them away, and let's use your real English, okay? Now, when describing people, let's cover the 7 categories, okay? Personal information. I didn't write this here, but I think I wrote this somewhere else. I think, yes, I wrote it in a different one. Let's see. Name, age, place of birth, job, okay? So these are usually the general personal information: name, age, place of birth, job. Then we have appearance: height, color, hair, body shape. These are usually the things we say about appearance. Personality: nice characteristics: friendly, organized, courageous, shy, okay? So outgoing, a social butterfly. And this is the area where you can elevate your English by picking more advanced words and practicing them. And I will show you some words that are key whenever we're describing people around us. How did we meet? Location, stories, the connection, do we have a friend in common? Is that how we met? Did we meet in college, at a university, at church, at a party, on the street, at a supermarket? How did that go? And duration of the friendship. We've been friends for 2, 3 years, 4 years, you name it. Social habits, in a way, is what this person enjoys doing, what this person does in their free time. Do they enjoy catching movies? Do they enjoy, let's say, going fishing? What are some of the social activities this person does? What I like most about this person. Now here, again, I go a little bit to the personality description, but I always give a little bit of explanation, okay? And I will give you examples to help you fully understand what I like most about this person and what I dislike. Maybe it's something this person does that you dislike. You don't like that thing this person does, and you don't feel so good about it, okay? But it's interesting to mention that whenever you're describing a person in terms of, with the purpose of practicing your English speaking and preparing yourself anywhere, anytime, remember that. It is a good idea to practice describing things you're not so excited about. Because, all right, you love your best friend, you love your spouse, but there may be a few things you don't like so much, which is okay. You need to practice talking about that, okay? Now, let's cover some key sentences. And at the end, I also prepared additional ones, okay, to help you study even more. Now, personal information. My friend is 25 years old. When we're talking about people, it is not necessarily a must to say the exact age. You can, but if you want to sound a little bit more natural, we don't always know the exact age. And maybe we don't want to mention the exact age. I have a good friend of mine who is in her mid-50s. I don't need to say, oh, she is 54 years old. I don't need to say that. It's much more conversational to say, well, she's in her mid-50s. She's in her mid-30s. He's in his early beginning, okay? Beginning of the 40s, 41, 42, 43, 44. After that is mid-40s, 45, 46, 48, you name it. She works in the tech industry. Okay, that's good. In the medical field, I can also add that, okay? I don't need to say the exact job if I don't want to. Maybe I can say the industry, like I work in the educational field. That's good. As an online teacher. That's great. So it's a nice way. I work in the educational field as an online English teacher. Perfect. He's a freelancer. Nice. She always has some different kinds of gigs, or he, in this case, in the example. Self-employed. What is self-employed? It's kind of similar to freelancer. The only difference is freelancer, I do different jobs. And while self-employed, I may have my own thing, okay? Like I used here, entrepreneur. I may have my own thing because I work for myself, okay? This is a very good description. Then we move on, like I'm still in personal information, born and raised. Oh, Priscilla, but what if my friend was not raised in that city? Then just born. He was born in São Paulo. I was born and raised, look at about myself. I was born and raised in Jacareí, but then moved to São Paulo, okay? That's it. I was born and raised in Jacareí, my hometown. I was born and raised in Jacareí, but currently I live in São Paulo. Okay? But I currently live in São Paulo, even more polished. Okay? I've known my best friend for over a decade. For over 5 years, for over a decade. I've known her, I've known him. We've known each other for over a decade. We've been friends. We've been married, okay? So these are good sentences when describing personal information. Then we move on to appearance, and there may be more words at the end of this file, okay? And hey, make sure to support the channel, hit the like button, y'all. Appearance, she's quite petite, quite small, okay? Very, instead of saying very all the time, add some variations. The key element here will be variation. You want to sound more like native speakers do? Add variation. They do this instantly, naturally. You can do the same with the proper practice. He is fairly, a little, very, okay, not too much, not too little, fairly tall and lean. Lean in terms of muscle. You know, this person is not thin, but not fat, okay? It's good body composition. He is broad-shouldered, okay? The shoulder, this part here, broad, it's large, okay? She has a slim build. Not fat, not thin, okay? It's a little bit more than thin. It's nice, okay? It's a nice composition, a slim build. He's a bit stocky. Ah, this is a good one. Stocky means a good one. Oh, where am I? Oh, did I type this again? Okay, all right. I thought I got lost. It's a person that is broad in general. This is a large person, okay? Not necessarily fat. You see, I'm not using the word fat to describe anyone here, but a stocky person means that it's a little bulky, okay? I will even add this here. This person is a little bulky, large, well-structured. She has shoulder length hair. So this size of hair, short hair, long hair, shoulder length hair. He is balding, losing hair. This is more common in men, okay? He is in the process of not having hair anymore, not completely bald, but getting there. She has wavy, like this right now, like waves, okay? Or curly hair. Straight. Very nice. She has neatly trimmed beard. This is for men, okay? This is for men. And neatly trimmed, this is very nice actually, because some men, they have a beard which doesn't look very nice. It doesn't look well presented. Let's stop using nice, right? It doesn't look well presented. It doesn't look neat. So you need to trim your beard. You need to go to a barber to get that done, okay? So if you want to describe that, maybe you have a friend who enjoys having a neatly trimmed beard. You can tell that that person is dedicated. That's a nice trait, by the way. She is about 5 feet 7 inches tall. If you don't know the exact height, use about. And here I'm using the American style, but if you go to Europe, in London, you know, in European countries where English is the official language, they're not going to use feet and inches. They're going to use centimeters, okay, which is fine. Just calculate. Now, personality, incredibly. You can use very, but you will see that I don't give a lot of very options. Very, okay? I don't give many options with very. So, incredibly reliable. I can trust this person. This person is dependable. Another good one. Very driven, very determined. That's what it means. Very determined to achieve something or be successful. Open mind. I'm open, I'm flexible. Open to new ideas. Down to earth. One moment. Down to earth, I'm reasonable, I'm practical. That's good, okay? I am empathetic. I show empathy to other people. That's a very important trait. A bit stubborn. It's my decision. It's hard for me to change my decision, to change my opinion about something. Stubborn. And then a bit or a tad, also very native-ish. Tad. A tad stubborn, a bit stubborn. Remember, if you're describing someone's negative traits, it's important to use proper language. Oh, I love my best friend. She's an amazing, dependable one, but she can be a tad stubborn sometimes, especially when she's wrong. But I love her. She's absolutely supportive and amazing, okay? Slightly, a little, is just another way to say a little. Is slightly judgmental. Do you have a friend who's judgmental? I do, unfortunately. I tend to be a tad judgmental sometimes. I'm working on it, okay? I'm a work in progress. Truly supportive. I got your back, okay? Remarkably, exceptionally, okay? But exceptionally is not a good, exceptionally disciplined. I prefer remarkably. It's a good collocation. Remarkably disciplined. Occasionally moody. Sometimes this friend of mine can be a little moody, you know? But she's a good friend, just occasionally moody. How we met? We first met when we met at school, at work, through mutual friends. And keep in mind, guys, that when you're describing a person in real life, you may need to explore a little bit more here. You need to give a little bit more information when you're describing how you met your best friend. Maybe there was something going on, and then you want to highlight that. Yeah, like this was going on, and it was amazing. There was a concert, you know, we were going to this concert, we met at school, and there was a school trip, we were on the same bus. Think about the story, okay? Mutual friends, through mutual friends, that's a good one, okay? Social habits. He's the kind of person who will, you know, wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, then go to a yoga session, then go grocery shopping, and still be up for drinks the middle of the day. You know, just a very sociable person. In her spare time, my best friend absolutely loves watching movies. She really spends a lot of her time watching movies. That's good. So she enjoys spending time outside. She enjoys spending time hiking. These are good descriptions about social habits. What I like about this friend, use your imagination. Oh, what I like most about my best friend is that she is always very supportive. See? I use a description. Here is where it gets tricky, because what I like most will probably show you like a characteristic or you like an action. And I can combine both, and I will give you some examples. Oh, what I like most about her is her level of confidence. And then I can give you an example. Her level of confidence. Whenever she is giving presentations at work, she delivers such a remarkable message. Everybody believes her instantly and connects with her so easily. So this is something I truly admire about her, which is the second one I admire most. I really appreciate the way she talks to me when I am a little depressed. Yeah, she's very upbeat, very understanding. So see, adjectives and situations, situations and adjectives. That's usually what you're going to use when talking about what you like about this person, okay? One thing that makes my best friend special is her honesty. No matter what you ask her, she's gonna tell you straight to your face what she thinks about it. And that is something I truly respect because not everyone does that. They are always afraid that you will not understand that, okay? So far, are you getting it? Tell me here, I got it. In the chat or in the comments. I got it, teacher Prix. I'm getting the point. I'm getting it. Tell me here in the chat. Now, what I dislike, it can be in most cases, it's characteristic with explanation or a situation. Situation plus characteristic. You can't escape that, okay? If I had to mention one flaw, I'd say my friend can be a tad judgmental. If I had to mention one flaw, I'd say my boyfriend is slightly stubborn. When he decides we're gonna do something, there's no negotiating with him. He just won't accept my opinion. One thing that annoys me is that my best friend is always late. You know, whenever we agree to meet each other, to meet at a party, at a pub, she's always like 10, 15 minutes late, and that drives me crazy. So that is a full description. You give an example. If you use a characteristic, which is probably what you're going to do, you need to explain. Give an example. And when I say explain, is an example. So she's always late. Yeah, when we agree to go to a pub, she's always 15 minutes late. She's always 10 minutes late. And that makes me annoyed, really annoyed. Sometimes she can be a bit dramatic. I think that's what my friend would say about me. Oh, one thing I hate about Priscilla is that sometimes she can be a tad dramatic. Anyway, even though Priscilla is an amazing friend, I still... Okay, no. Even though she is a little dramatic, I still value our friendship. There you have it. Good. Now, guys, before I move on to the examples and shadowing, make sure to share this video with a friend. And I also have a special invitation in case you're interested. Next Tuesday, not tomorrow, the following one, I'm going to be doing a speaking workshop where I'll be sharing 3 speaking exercises. We're going to be live together, not here. It'll be on Zoom with all the students who purchase this workshop. And I'm going to show you my 3 best speaking exercises that you can do alone. We're going to practice this together during this workshop. I'm going to give you paraphrasing exercises. And in addition to this workshop, you will also get my study plan, which alone is almost the price of the workshop. So this is a great deal, okay? And one special bonus is the replay to my amazing lecture called How to Impress and Influence People with Your English, the 7 Golden Rules of Communication. This workshop will cost $67 American, and in case you miss it live, because it'll happen live via Zoom with the students who purchase it, you will be able to catch the replay. The replay will be available on the platform once you purchase this package, because it'll be the workshop plus the study plan and all the benefits of the study plan. So if you're interested, check it out, but let's roll. Now, shadowing practice. I'm gonna play the audio and then we're gonna practice and understand the example. Okay, we're gonna digest, okay? Piece by piece, part by part. So let's go to the first one. I'm even gonna listen so that I can, pay attention to what's going on. All right. I hope it plays here.
My best friend's name is Camilla. She's in her mid-30s and was born and raised in London. She works in the marketing field and absolutely loves what she does. She's fairly tall with shoulder-length, wavy hair and a slim build. What I admire most about her is her resilience. She's incredibly driven and never gives up easily. We met at university over 10 years ago, and we've been close ever since. She's very social and loves hosting dinner parties at her place. If I had to mention one flaw, I'd say she can be a bit stubborn sometimes, but that's also what makes her strong.
Excellent. So here we go. And I recommend listening to this one more time, okay? Pause, go back, listen again. This is a good practice for shadowing. So my best friend's name is Camilla. She's in her mid-30s, see? And was born and raised in London. Look at this sequence. She works in the marketing field and absolutely loves what she does. So if your friend loves what he or she does, this is a good phrase for you to add. Oh, my friend works in the educational field and he's absolutely passionate about his career. He's very passionate about his job. This is a nice addition. This is what makes you stand out, okay? She's fairly reasonably tall, not too tall, but not short. She's tall. She's fairly tall with shoulder length, wavy hair. Could be curly, could be straight, and a slim build. Nice body composition. What I admire, see? What I admire most about her is her resilience. She is incredibly driven and never gives up easily. So you see, I described that she's resilient. I said she's driven and never gives up. So here, never giving up means resilience. But I'm just using a phrasal verb to emphasize that she doesn't give up. We met at university over 10 years ago. See? We met at university over 10 years ago, and we've been close ever since. That's a very good way. We've been close. So if you're close to someone, this would be a good description. Okay, I met my best friend 8 years ago, and we've been close ever since. I didn't describe where I met her. Oh, in university. I met my best friend at a marketing conference, and we've been close ever since. That would be my version. She's very social and loves hosting parties at her place. So I could say sociable, okay, but social in the terms of gathering and stuff like that. Hosting dinner parties, having people over, okay? I love having people over. This would be a nice one. If I had to mention one flaw, I'd say she can be a bit stubborn sometimes, but that's what makes her strong. So that's a nice way to put it. Let's go to the second one, shall we?
My husband is in his early 40s and works as a civil engineer. He was born in a small town but moved to the city in his 20s. He's tall and broad-shouldered, with short dark hair and a neatly trimmed beard. Personality-wise, he's extremely reliable and down-to-earth. I can always count on him. We met through mutual friends about 8 years ago. What I like most about him is his sense of humour. He makes me laugh even on stressful days. What annoys me sometimes is that he tends to overthink things.
Beautiful. So here we have a more British accent, okay? Not too British, but a little British, definitely. So same organization again. My husband is in his early 40s. I don't need to say the exact age, okay? This is not a job interview. I'm just talking about people around me. And works as a civil engineer. So works as a teacher, works as a secretary, works as a flight attendant, works as a pilot. He was born in a small town, but moved to the city in his 20s. This is something true about me. I was born and raised in a small town, but moved to the cities about 14 years ago. He's tall and broad-shouldered, with short dark hair and a neatly trimmed beard. Nice cut. Very nice. Beautiful. Neat. Personality-wise, I like this, okay? In terms of personality, that's what it means. In terms of personality, he is extremely reliable, dependable. I can trust him. I can count on him when I have a problem or something happens. And down to earth, he's very practical. I can always count on him. So I'm just adding here because when I say reliable, it already means I can count on him. We met through mutual friends about 8 years ago. What I like most about him is his sense of humor. And then I give the explanation. Look, I like his sense of humor. He makes me laugh even on stressful days. What annoys me is that he tends to overthink things. Here I don't give explanations, but I could give an example, okay? Now let's go to the last one and then I have a few more things to add, okay? Oh yeah, and I have the magical phrase, the key phrase to see if you watch it until the end. Help me out, help me think about this. Let's go to the next one.
One of my colleagues, Daniel, is in his late 20s and works in the tech industry. He's originally from Boston, but currently lives in New York. He's of average height, has curly hair, and usually dresses very casually. He's highly analytical and extremely detail-oriented, which makes him excellent at his job. We met at work 3 years ago, and since then we've collaborated on several projects. What I appreciate most about him is his professionalism. However, he can be a bit impatient when deadlines are tight.
Excellent. So here I am describing a colleague, and that's when I get to use again a few more variations and interesting vocabulary. So one of my colleagues, Daniel, here just the intonation a little, I would improve the intonation from the audio. One of my colleagues, Daniel, is in his late 20s and works in the tech industry. He's originally from Boston, but currently lives in New York. He's of average height, has curly hair, and usually dresses very casually. He's highly analytical and extremely detail-oriented, which makes him excellent at his job. We've met at work 3 years ago, and since then, we've collaborated on several projects. What I appreciate most about him is his professionalism. However, he can be a bit impatient when deadlines are tight. This is a better intonation, okay? Now, guys, one of my colleagues, Daniel, I don't need to say one of my colleagues, his name is Daniel. I don't need to do that, okay? Is in his late 20s, look, late 20s, works in the tech industry, originally from Boston. He is originally from Boston, but currently lives in New York. So think about a friend who is originally from one place, but currently lives in another. This is a good structure. He's of average height, has curly hair, and usually dresses very casually. Highly, very much, highly analytical, instead of saying very, okay? Extremely detail-oriented. He pays attention to small things, which makes him excellent at his job. How can you use this phrase to describe a friend's job? Okay? Think about how you can use this template to describe the people around you. We met at work 3 years ago, and since then, we've collaborated on several projects. Look, we've collaborated, we've worked together. This is a good way to put it. What I appreciate most about him is his professionalism. Here, I could add some information to complement his professionalism. Okay, maybe about the way he conducts meetings, maybe the way he always meets deadlines. So I could give some explanations. However, he can be a bit impatient when deadlines are tight. So a bit, a tad, slightly. I never emphasize it too much unless I am talking about someone I know really well that is really close to me, then it would be fine, okay? All right. Now here, what I prepared for you in the PDF material that you will be able to download are sentences template, okay? So my idea here is for you to complete, okay? Appearance, personality. Try completing these sentences while describing people around you, okay? Social habits, what I like most, what I dislike. This would be a very good exercise for you. One thing that I do with my BSAs is, my students in my academy, is to make them use what they study, especially to talk about people in their lives. Actually, in Module 2 of my academy, we talk about important people in our lives. And they have to use the vocabulary they learn, the grammar they learn, to talk about important people, people they care about. And this is how your brain remembers, okay? Awesome. Now, the phrase of the day to show you are here until the end is way to go. Way to go, okay? So if you watch this video until the end, type way to go. And remember, my special workshop, my 3 best speaking exercises, a live session with all the students who purchased this workshop. We're going to work on paraphrasing. And on top of that, you get my study plan cycle. So it is a good deal. Link in the description of this video or in the chat. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.